What the hell? Good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of High Top Sports. I'm in the studio with my main man, Steven Chad Holly. Let's get it. What's going on, big dog?
Shelton, my man, how are you today?
Oh, look, I'm feeling pretty good. We've got a jam-packed show. It's going to be an absolute banger. It's crazy how one night out with Steve and I could just turn into so many great things. You can't make this stuff up. It's going to be a banger of a show. Stick around. Make some comments. We'd love to hear from you. Let's get right into it. You ready, Stevie?
Let's go.
I got to pull
I'm not going to like this. I get a feeling I'm not going to like
You're
this.
probably not. You're probably not. Fighting Gator FSU. I'm assuming that means fuck F. Okay, I hope Ryan's not lying. He just said Bruce Arians just retired. Hold on. Before the show.
Don't do this.
Hold on.
You can't come in with dropping bombs like that.
There's no way.
Oh, Bruce Arians steps down as Tampa Bay.
Oh my goodness, this is unbelievable. This is
the hottest take on the internet.
The hottest
right now. Let's go.
Why didn't we name the title Bruce Arians Steps Down? Okay, let's get right into it, guys. So I'm not quite sure if you know or heard, but Bruce Arians has stepped down as the head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
The treasurer of High Top Sports was here to break the news.
We're not even prepared for this. Like, this is absolutely, this is crazy to me. I don't even know how to handle this right now. So
I wonder if that gives Tom Brady the out for a trade with the coach, and maybe like, this is my guy, and he's not there anymore. And there were some rumblings that he wanted to go to Miami. I don't know. This is wild. This comes out of nowhere.
So hold on.
We appreciate you dropping that on there.
Hold on. This is a solid point. Maybe this retirement is because of the noise, right? And Zachary Winfield. Hey, everyone, I'm watching Survivor, and you guys. Hey, that's a great show. Great show. Family and I, we do a pool every year. Thanks for stepping in, Zachary. We've missed you, man. Muddy, welcome back. Exactly, Muddy. Byron Leftwich is taking the job, and that's what I felt too. Now, I also believe the reason why Tommy wanted out is him and Bruce. I don't think they were getting along towards the end. I think there was a little bit of noise coming out that they weren't getting along. And I think Tom was like, yo, this is an ultimatum. I'm either headed down to South Beach or you get this old geezer out of here. And that's what I'm thinking. Now, obviously, I'm here for the drama. So it's going to be a little clickbaity, guys. I can see it now. Tom Brady gets Bruce Arians fired. Just going to let you know what's happening where we're already here, okay? Got a lot of shit this past week over clickbait, and we're going to get into that. But, Steve, go ahead. Give me your hot take.
No, listen, I mean, the fact that Byron Leftwich never took a job, right? He interviewed. He was clearly out there. He was on the market. There were a lot of teams that were looking. We'll see. I think that Brady and Byron Leftwich had a pretty decent relationship from everything that I read. But
I did too. But towards the end,
almost the exit strategy. It feels.
Yeah, towards the end, I think for like the abrupt retirement, again, there was a lot of noise that maybe there was a few disagreements going on. He said the AB situation pissed Brady off. How Bruce handled that, I think yes, Zach, it is for real. Bruce Arians has stepped down. So I honestly look. I made a whole video when Tom retired about like, hey, you either live or die here or live long enough to become a villain. Tom's looking kind of like a prima donna a little bit.
He's got pull. He's got the pull. I mean,
I know he's got it, but
the name, he's got the beautiful chin. He's got it all.
Zach makes a good point. Is it another hoax? Is Tampa just trying to be the next like LA where they're just creating a bunch of controversy? Just they're feeling bored. I think it was a play to save the move from Brady to the Dolphins. So we weren't really wrong maybe on the last video we talked about it, but he said Todd Bowles is the head coach. That's not a joke either. So he's probably the guy getting the shuffle.
Bleacher Report is reporting that Todd Bowles has been named the replacement. That meant that they already had determined if Bruce Arians was leaving, that Byron had no shot at this job. So
what's up, Mama?
Another interesting. Hey, Audra, that's another interesting little take, considering that he was a candidate for so many head coaching jobs, and then this opens up, and we just immediately go to the DC. Interesting.
I am beyond shook. This is awesome. Awesome. I can't wait to get this out there and to clickbait the shit out of everybody.
How many times does a winning Super Bowl coach quit before he even coached his next game?
Right. I mean that's
maybe Jimmy Johnson. If I'm thinking back, But I mean,
Man,
you
this
win the
is
Super Bowl, you bring back your QB, right? You get him to unretire. You brought back Fournette. I mean, granted, you lost some wide receiver talent, but the AB thing was weird to say the absolute least. But to quit, I mean, you quit on top, so I guess it is what it is. It's just that caught everybody off guard.
He's quitting like Tom Brady, just kind of out of nowhere. This is absolutely insane. I guarantee you we'll have more information next week on this, to see what really played out. Maybe not. I really think that there is an issue with the Tom Brady situation, and he was like, "Hey, you guys are trading me, or Bruce is gone," because it doesn't make sense why Bruce would leave. It doesn't make any sense unless there's a health issue. He pulls an Urban Meyer. I don't know, but wow, we were not prepared for that. But the hot take. I'll take it.
Here it is at the top of the leaderboard for topics of the evening. Ryan comes in, he drops the bomb, we run with it. My gosh, Bruce Arians out.
Daniel's back at it again. We miss you, Daniel. We're glad you're here. I was giving you compliments precast. I don't know if you guys heard some other breaking news. I'm sure you guys are here for the hot take. Will Smith slapped Chris Rock.
He went total George Mazeltov and just walked
Jorge, not George. Jorge.
No, hold on. We're in America. But yeah, I mean, like, just got up there, walked up to him, just knocked the snot out of his face, went right back to his seat, and just acted like it didn't really happen.
Look, I'm sure you guys are sick of hearing about it. We are too, but it just we could not talk about it. I feel like we would be doing a disjustice to the world if we didn't talk about it. As a stance of who's I don't and look. I'm okay with Will smacking the shit out of Chris. I'm also okay with talking shit, and I think there is no line in comedy. I think you can always say comments. I think being at the Oscars, I think that's kind of where the line is. Hey, like, know your place of where you can say certain jokes, but also, too, that's his job. That's how Chris Rock makes a living, is poking fun and tackling or tickling the bear. So I get both sides. I also believe in there could be repercussions on how you act, and he got slapped in the face.
He got a repercussion right across the face.
Yeah.
But at the same time, look, I mean, like, Chris Rock, he has to do an opening monologue, and he didn't get the joke because he's not funny. Like, what else is the guy supposed to do? Get up there and tell you about the weather? It's just his job. He's just doing his job.
I don't think either person was wrong, to be honest with you. I think he felt, hey, I'm going to say this, because I find myself saying things all the time, like, hey, that might have been a little too far. And I've been fortunate enough not to get slapped, especially by Holly. We have a clip later on for Holly, which may or may result in a slap from Holly to me, but I'm here for it. So it's going to be an absolute banger of a clip.
I'm surprised I didn't get slapped. I'm not going to lie. My English and creativity on how I shared it with folks around me got more and more colorful as the evening went on, and the beers started flowing even more. But it is what it is. Well, I'm sure we'll get to it. I've not seen this. I'll be honest. I know it exists. I have not seen it.
It's going to be good. Zach said it was Hollywood acting. That's what a lot of people were saying too. And it was a weak slap. I agree, Muddy. Daniel says Gators lose their first 2 games and 3 more after that. I think he was referring to baseball. But they got a W last night. And that's what we're going to get into right now, is Gator baseball got the W against the 5th-ranked Florida State Seminoles in Jacksonville. We had we did have a good time at the beginning of the game. We did some Gator and Florida State trivia with all the fans outside, not all of them, but a good chunk of the fans out front of the stadium. It was awesome. I think the fans had a good time. I know Steve and I had a good time. We met some cool ass people who became subscribers who joined on the hype train. So the high top train. It was a good time.
Absolutely. Look, I mean, the people were amazing. It was a fun time. Everybody was giving each other a little bit of flack for depending on which team you were rooting for. But look, the quizzes that we were doing outside the stadium, like, some of the folks that they were standing around waiting in line to be the next one to go through and be on the cast. But yeah, it was a great time, man. It was a beautiful night. The beer was cold. Amazing seats.
Great seats.
Yeah.
First base line.
Well done, Ryan Bork. Row one,
first base line. Absolutely incredible. Zachary said versus who? I don't think he heard who they play last night, Steve.
I believe that would be FSU. I wouldn't say that FSU played, but yeah. The one thing I've gotten to myself, at least in my head, so I don't want to, just rip anybody's head off, is watching FSU play Florida in baseball has to feel like Florida watching their team play FSU in basketball. It just, for some odd reason, it always feels like you get that one win in a decade and you're like, sweet, but it never seems to really turn into any type of consistency. But you guys have beat us consistently for about a decade. I think we snuck a win
in
out
Jacksonville.
of there.
Yeah.
And
Zach said thank you.
Even in the series as a whole, I think we snuck a win out in Gainesville a couple years ago. But you guys have owned that series for a while now.
So we, like I said, I have a little video clip here for you guys. It's a kind of a timeline of the night, okay? Because it was a close game. It was really, really close. Florida State almost hit a home run, was robbed, and then they also made another great sliding catch. It's gonna be it's fun, okay? We're gonna just see a timeline of how the night went. Let me go ahead and get this pulled up here. I'm gonna block my face. I'd rather you guys see Steve. I've seen the video, so I'd rather see how you guys appreciate Steve. He hasn't seen this yet.
I was on key.
Here we go. Watch. Easily the greatest video of all time. that is going to go down in the High Top Sports history 20 years from now as an iconic video. I hope you guys enjoyed my editing there. That's going to be up for an Academy for a short film next year. I can promise you we're going to be there. It's going to end with Steve slapping me as I receive the award for best director and editor. and
the Gators probably winning. So
Steve's going to get best actor. It's going to be absolutely incredible. Look, Zachary said poetic justice right there. I'm telling you guys, it was one for the ages. It was hilarious. It was absolutely hilarious. And look, it doesn't end there. It actually gets even better than this. So Steve had an early departure.
I was over it.
As you would expect. So he didn't get to see this.
Hashtag beat the traffic.
Yes. At that point, we got nothing else. This guy decided to rush the field, which to me, I realized after the fact, I want your guys' help. I want to get this guy on the podcast. Hopefully he's a local here in Jacksonville, so we can get this guy on here. Do your magic. See if we can figure out how this is. If whoever subscribed from last night sees this video and we can figure this out, I would love to talk to this guy because I love the approach here. He jumps the fence, and this is the first time I've seen somebody get away with rushing the field. It's absolutely incredible. I was enjoying it for the first few minutes, and I realized I need to record it. So the guy runs onto the field with a beer in here and slides headfirst into second, and then I start recording. So here we go. Look at him. There he is, shirt off. Look, the energy on trying to catch him was kind of barefoot. He was prepared. The guy's absolutely shredded. I didn't know if it was like a commercial for like a Vanity Fair or something like that because the guy's yoked. I was like, where did you guys come from? Look at this guy. It's Baywatch. Look at him. That's the man of the people right there.
Victory lap.
Look, they're all exhausted. This guy's look, he's just throwing up gang signs and shit.
Waits until the 8th inning when everybody's just beat. Like nobody's chasing you around.
Yeah, like we're over the game, dude. Like don't do this to us. And then so look, he kind of just like floats around for a little bit. They don't really look. I mean, we don't have the most athletic guys out there trying to catch him by any stretch. Look at him! Look!
He hits the mound and goes through the motions. I like it.
I would have loved it if he ran the bases. Then he runs around, and then he makes the greatest escape plan of all time. He takes off to the outfield. Look, they've already given up on this guy. They're like, we don't care. Get the hell out of here. Leave us the hell alone. We're trying to go home. Jumps the short outfield fence. Look at this. Jumps the fence. Jumps the bigger fence, and he's gone.
Take it to the Matthews Bridge.
Gone. The ultimate one-night stand. right? I mean, the walk of shame. He's out of there. See you later, alligator. I'm gone. It was awesome. I want to get the guy on. If you guys can recognize that Hercules lookalike, you guys let us know. We would love to have that man on here. I think he deserves some praise after that hustle around the infield. Yeah, absolutely incredible.
Just the exit by itself, it was well timed. He got his face out there. He got to make a couple rounds around the bases, and look, just as sly as could be, like a bank robber, getaway car. Gone.
He said Zach says has to be FSU fan. He was a Florida fan. All the FSU fans had already left. Muddy says we needed Mr. Two Bits. I couldn't agree more. He had to be a Gator fan. He jumped from the Gator side. I'll claim him. I will definitely claim him. He was a good time. That was awesome. All right, we'll move on from baseball. Thanks, Steve, for being a great sport. I appreciate it. It was not easy for him, guys.
Can we get one win from you guys? My gosh. We'll give you one in basketball every 10 years. You give us one in baseball every 10 years.
Ricky says Steve would have beat traffic if you left like that.
Good call.
Absolutely incredible. All right. Next on here, some breaking news today. We are just on hot take after hot take. Eric Church says fuck it. He had a show planned this weekend, a massive show. This is the ultimate fuck you money. This guy has so much cheddar in the bank that he can cancel a show because he wants to go watch UNC play Coach K and Duke one last time. The first time, might I say, in March Madness tournament in the Final Four. Like,
unbelievable.
Hell of a fan. Steve, hopefully he doesn't leave early like Steve if they're losing. Maybe he'll stay committed to the entire show. I don't know. But to cancel a show, these people have planned for this trip. Imagine the people that have traveled far and wide. Like, you hear people like canceling shows because they're sick or because Demi Lovato has an overdose again, right? Or relapse, like whatever, right? We see that all the time, right? We're used to that, Demi, okay?
Or your girlfriend gets the wrong date on the yearly calendar.
Oh, Steve's girl booked it for who was the concert?
Rage Against the Machine.
Rage Against the Machines in Washington, D.C. They book a 2-3 day trip, stay in Trump Tower in Washington, D.C., and they're thinking it's on Saturday, but the tickets keep saying Friday, right, or vice versa. And Steve's like, yeah, we'll figure it out when we get there. She had tickets for 2022. This was last year in 2021. Do you still have those tickets?
Oh, we still have those tickets.
You're going to go?
I'll be in Washington, D.C. in August.
Well done. Well done. WFL says...
it took me about 2 days before she kept saying, it's just one day off. It's just one day off. And then it hit me. It's because we're looking at the wrong year, honey.
They didn't realize till they were there. It was awesome. WFL says, what's up, fellas? What's up, my man? Welcome. Daniel Rivera says, go Duke. At this point, I am go Blue Devils. I am all in on the Dukes. 100% on the Dukes.
Okay.
100%. But
yeah, it's the swan song. Coach K has been around for a long time. He's always been an ambassador. He was the coach of the U.S. basketball team. So, look, I would love to see the guy win it. UNC seems to have their number lately, though. So it'll be a great, great game. And look, the most watched basketball game in the history of the NCAA was the Duke North Carolina game in 2006. And I think this is going to knock that off the throne here. We had JJ Redick, we had Sheldon Williams, Tyler Hansbrough were all going at it back in 2006. But I think that this is going to transcend that entirely.
Yeah, I think this is going to blow the game out of the water. I was telling you this prior. March Madness is fun the very first weekend, right? You got all the games going. You got all the parlays going. It's mayhem. You're trying to see how perfect your bracket can be. Once your bracket, I mean, if you're close, you'll stay kind of interested. But if it gets completely just obliterated like it did this year, I'm not here to go watch Gonzaga. Like I truly don't care. I don't care to watch Texas Tech, right? Once Florida's gone, that's whatever. I'm not here to watch Arizona and Villanova. Like, it's fun. I watch the Natty game every year, right? Because it's like the Super Bowl. It's what you're supposed to do. It's like church on Sunday. You have to go. You're kicking the dog, and
just too far away.
This game. This is the championship game. Nobody cares about the other side. Nobody cares about who's going to be in the championship. This is a championship game. It's going to be the biggest game probably, I would say, in the last at least 5-6 years, if I had to guess. Just what's at stake right? I mean, the history that's involved between the two schools, the fact that it's Coach K's last year, it's massive.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, the Villanova UNC national championship a few years back, I think was probably one of the most exciting games I've watched from beginning to end. With Villanova hitting pretty much a half court three to win it at the last second. But going into the game, this is the most excited I have been for a Final Four matchup in as long as I can remember. So I'm hoping it lives up to the hype. I like both teams. They're both in the ACC, obviously. So I've been watching them for many years, and I do like Coach K. I got a lot of respect for the guy. So looking forward to that game. That'll be definitely one that I'll make sure that I have earmarked and set aside, and I'll be there for it live. Not there, but I'll watch it live.
You're not going to be there with Eric Church?
No. Well, I have tickets, but they're next year.
Zach, we'll get to that in a minute, Bubba, but WFL says UNC has the best guards in the nation and a dominant big man. I think we've been talking about it all week. UNC is not an 8 seed. I don't know what happened, but they by far it was the worst seeding I've ever seen. They should have easily been a 3 or a 4 seed. I was kind of shocked how high of a seed they got, but it is what it is. Yes, UNC is really good. Duke is really good. Duke is just young. But yeah. UNC is really good. I honestly don't see Duke having a viable chance. But I hate, and Muddy says it, I hate Duke and UNC too. I can't stand them. I wouldn't mind to see Kansas winning. I'm not a huge fan of Villanova. He said he'd like to see Villanova, but I'm not a huge fan of Villanova. But I would love to see who's left. I would like to see Kansas.
Yeah, I can see Kansas. I mean, even UNC's got a little bit of history with them from Roy Williams being at Kansas, and then obviously going back to his alma mater at UNC. So, yeah, look, either way, the Final Four has actually got a couple of games that I'm excited about. The Kansas and Nova, two big, offenses that look like they're going to put up a lot of points, and that's always fun to watch. And then you just got, one of the most storied basketball rivalries in history. Going into the 4 with a coach kind of in his swan song. So a lot of storylines there. It's gonna be fun to watch. I do know that.
I totally agree. Real quick, March Madness update on the bracket. It's between two guys. Everyone's bracket is just absolutely destroyed. When I got out of it, I was cheering for certain people. I was cheering for Muddy because he had an opportunity with UCLA still in it to have somebody on, and we're down to 2 guys. The worst 2 guys that we could have on this podcast. They're close to us. Carlos and Tim Young. Like I'd rather chew on glass than have those 2 guys on the podcast. I mean, I kid a little bit. Carlos said he goes, he needs Duke to win for him to win. He goes, I have an outfit. I'm bringing my blow up doll. I was like, my God. I was like, I'm not paying you, Carlos. You can suck it. Tim Young's been texting me all week. He goes, you excited to have him on the podcast? I was like, my goodness, talking shit. So it's down to those 2 based on how the numbers are going to work out. It is what it is. I'm upset we didn't have somebody else, but I don't make the rules. Well, I do, but.
Oh, sort of. But look, it is what it is. Those guys picked relatively decent brackets. They're strong, and their total points, I think, are still.
They did really good.
Really well, like really up in the 180 potentials, and that's, you don't see that, especially with the type of madness that we had early on in the tournament with Kentucky going down.
I see you did that
in round 1. Yeah, you see that. But yeah, just a couple of really good teams that had a little bit higher seeding, just not playing well. So for them to keep the potential score as high as it is, bravo to them.
For sure. Moving on to some Gators talk. So Zachary had a question, thoughts on Jack Fiburn. I've been talking about Jack since we got him. I absolutely love the kid. I think he's a beast. I made a video this past week about Kamari Wilson and what I think he's going to do. I plan to make one about Jack as well, kind of like his impact on the team. Kamari seems to me he's going to have a more immediate impact than Jack, but I think Jack's going to be huge. I think he's an absolute steal. They're giving him like a 3-star, but I believe in my opinion, is a 4-star. I'm beyond excited to see how this kid's going to do. I actually, Steve, I have some Gator tape that I want us to go over. We'll go over that a little bit later. I have some practice film that I wanted to pull up. I wanted to have some thoughts on it. I want to eat my words a little bit. That I have some things to say about Anthony, but I'm excited about that. The one big thing, my concern is the Gators tight end issue. So I got some notes here that I want to go over with you guys. And we all knew this going into this. Arlis Birmingham was a big sign for this reason, because of the lack of depth in tight end position, and he's a tight end hybrid / wide receiver / just football player. So right now, the Gators are without the trio tight ends in Nick Elskinis, Jonathan Odom, and Gage Wilcox. Nick is out for the remainder of the camp with a broken scapula. Odom underwent surgery to repair torn labrum, and Wilcox is unknown due to another injury as well. We haven't seen him in practice at all. So those 3 guys are down, which leaves us to moving Keon Zipperer, who was rated, I just like saying that name, who was rated the number 1 halfback prospect by ESPN as a high school prospect. But he's 6'4", you said, Steve?
Yeah, 6'3", 234. He's a big guy. He's got the
on a
size
halfback.
to play the position. Yeah.
We're moving him to tight end, and we're moving Buholtz linebacker, Noah Keeter to tight end as well. So we're getting a little thin here. Gator Gang, scared money don't make money. I got yelled at by a fan for saying that slogan too much, but I appreciate you coming in here, Gator Gang, saying scared money don't make money. Hell yeah, Bubba. But yeah, it's a little sketchy, and we also talked about too. We noticed with Gator success, there's typically a great tight end that goes along with it. The Trey Burtons, the Jordan Reeds, the Aaron Hernandez, the Kyle Pitts, right?
Kyle Pitts was a great one. Ben Troop. I don't know if he had the pro career, but he was a beast. I remember having to play against him. I was playing against him year after year, and you just couldn't cover the guy down the middle of the field. He was just a big body and could catch just damn near anything they threw at him.
Yeah, and Muddy says look for a portal for us to bring a tight end. That would be extremely helpful because, again, I don't think Arlis is going to be the guy. Again, they have him as that hybrid. I think he's still too young. He needs to put on a little bit more weight to be that tight end guy. He's definitely going to be a blocking tight end by any stretch of the imagination. But that's, to me, again, is a concerning area that we definitely have a big shoe to fill. And, yeah, a portal play would be huge for us to go do that.
Yeah, and look, the one thing that the timing of all this really kind of stinks for Florida is you've got a new coach, a new offense, and you've got 3 kids who aren't going to be able to play in spring practice, where when you're trying to pick up some of the nuances of an offense that you haven't played in, reps matter. And you want as many opportunities as you can to get out there and run your routes, to know your blocking assignments, just all the quirks to the audible calls and how to line up. And, do I line up in the H position or do I line up on the strong side? Just all those little things that, as a new offense gets instilled, you want to have the ability to get through that repetition. To lose 3 guys to injuries that stinks. I mean, look, it doesn't sound like these are season impactors.
I mean, they're not. Yeah, they've been there. Yep.
Yeah, they're not season impactors. It's just gonna get them out of the rhythm of going through those motions in the beginning.
For sure. Scott Lamore says, excellent show, guys. You're headed for greatness. We appreciate that. We really do.
Thanks,
we put a lot of time and effort. So thanks for that, man. Thanks for the kind words. Muddy says tomorrow's the first spring scrimmage. Can't wait. That's going to be exciting. I definitely can't wait. WFL says he feels like Napier is still scratching his head on why AR didn't start all season. You and all of us, WFL. He has Heisman talents, in my opinion. I keep saying that. So what I said, okay, so earlier, I got roasted this past week on a lot of our videos, and I want to just get it out there really quick, okay? I was getting in an argument with one person because I claimed AR-15 was in the top 5 for favorable Heisman. He no longer is, but he was at one point, okay? Well, we're splitting hairs here, people. Some guy came on and goes, I love your guys' show, but if I hear you say scare money don't make money one more time, I swear to God, I'm not watching anymore. I was like, that's a little aggressive. I don't fucking say it that much. I don't know who the guy
is, but I can kind of feel where he's coming from,
But I was like, I thought about
it.
You've
got a button for it. You've got a damn button.
And you've told me to hit it before. So it's.
I said that once. I would not repeatedly tell you to keep.
I know, but we don't do it that much. I mean, it's more like a segment start. I felt like it was a little overreaction. He was in all caps. I was like, why are we yelling, Chef? Like, it's a little aggressive, okay? But yes, I think AR is going to be the guy, and that's why I want to pull up some of that footage. I probably won't be able to pull it up, to be honest with you. I don't have it set up. That's on me. So let's just talk about it really quick. I had a huge praise for Jack Miller. I still do, but a lot of the video that I was watching, it seems to lack zip on the ball. The ball seems to be getting there almost a little just delayed, right? You can kind of see the wide receiver bringing it in or going after it versus it coming to them, right? Whereas when you're seeing Anthony, and that's where we were kind of giving him crap because there's a lot of high balls, but it was coming out hot, right? I mean, the guys are like, they're catching it and flinging it back a little bit. Jack didn't have that. Now, it looks good in practice because there's nobody defending, right? He's hitting his spots, he's hitting his throws, but my thing is like, you get a safety in a corner out there, it doesn't have zip on it, they're going to cut that thing off.
Cut it off, or you're just going to leave your wide receiver or running
in
back
dead man's
exposed.
Zone.
Yeah,
exactly.
You're just going to have his ribs wide open for a completely legitimate hit, but it's just going to, you don't want that, especially with these guys coming out of the backfield. If you can get 1 or 2 steps, in running forward before that ball comes out, and you can take that momentum with you, you just come out of the backfield hot as hell. So, to have them stop and come back and have to even just turn their bodies and things like that, all that momentum gets slowed down. And you're right, a good safety or corner is going to come down and take that out, time after time.
Absolutely. So honestly, watching, I know, again, the other video we showed before, which we got roasted for that video saying it was clickbait, which was beyond me. Guys, what are we doing here? I mean, I love the shit talk, but just be accurate with it, okay? It's not clickbait, it's gray bait, all right? The video, AR looked so much better than that first video. And again, we were obviously being overly aggressive in our judgment on that video for just because it was the first one. We had nothing. But the video I watched today, AR-15 looked good. Looked really, really good. Again, there's nobody out there, but the throws looked hot. They looked on point. And then again, it was just a couple throws. It wasn't too much. But the one thing I did notice, all of Jack's throws, again, had a light toss to it, which to me, there's a little, is that concern, but that could be where him losing or getting the starting job, to be honest with you.
Sure. Yeah, any type of tentative arm strength is usually based on not knowing where to go with it, as opposed to their actual strength. It's just, maybe they're not stepping into it because they're not confident with where they're putting it. Yeah. But look, I mean, the other thing that he said is, if I'm not mistaken, AR-15 was coming off a shoulder, an issue. And one of the reasons that we forecasted, or that we kind of speculated why Emory left, is because his rehab has been going a lot better than I think what was anticipated. So the fact that he's coming out there and he's starting to show that he's getting back into regular form, that doesn't surprise me at all. The kid's a freak.
Yep, absolutely. There's actually another hot take here from Gator Gang 2022. Rumor is FSU's boosters are pulling all their money together to pay for a kicker who can actually kick an onside kick.
I don't know why.
It's just a hot take.
We're not going to keep the game close enough to actually have to use that. Let's be honest.
That was good. Good.
Real fast to Muddy, you mentioned that there was a guy, an FSU starter, that was transferring. His name is Jarvis Brownlee. He is transferring
out of FSU.
FSU didn't want to pay him what he thought he was worth NIL wise. So we're like,
gosh, dude, this is crazy. And also, he said too, A&M lost a 5-star receiver and a 4-star tight end as well. So this is it can get interesting. The portal's going to change. We've been saying it from the beginning, but it's definitely going to have a huge impact. For sure. The spring game was April 14th. We learned at 7:00 on Thursday.
On a Thursday, yeah.
God, what I would give to try to get out there. Daniel Rivera, like and subscribe or get slapped. Yes, sir.
See, Rivera comes in and he's a little bit of a condescending jackass, but then he'll give you the hot takes on why everybody should be here for it.
Thanks, Zach. Loves the hoodie. I put the penis hoodie to the side. Man, there's a lot of comments here. Trying to keep up with you guys.
I know, man. They're going crazy in here.
Make sure you guys come back their life on Wednesday. On in the show in December. We're going to keep it going. We're not going to stop. Muddy's saying reports as practice wide receivers are having a ton of drops and coaches have been going at them and will be looking at the portal. Look, that's a weak point. They look, from the people that I saw running routes, they all look kind of small. But yeah, that's. I mean, I'm glad we're being aggressive. I'm glad we're kind of seeing it now. We're making that, and that's the one positive of the portal is we're not stuck with whatever we got. So
sure,
I love that.
And there's no delay in getting them right. So if you get them out of the portal, there's no 1 year that you can't play them, and you got a red shirt on them. You can get some instant gratification out of that thing.
For sure. I've got a few crystal ball predictions. Again, it's kind of like the way too early thing. Like It's a little aggressive, but we're going to get excited about it because we can. Let me see here what we got. So Florida has received crystal balls for cornerback Tony Mitchell. I believe he's 5-star. Cornerback Kamani McLean. O lineman Peyton Kirkland. And D lineman Derek LeBlanc. Look, the source isn't the greatest source, so just kind of take it as you will. But it's, again, I think it's way too early anyways, but it's fun to talk about. It's fun to get that juices flowing. I don't remember having this much hype, and we've talked about this time and time again, but this much hype. So last year was 2021. For 2022 recruits this early. So I think it's good to get the ball rolling now because they're going to drop off. It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. So we scoop them all in, and then hopefully some will fall through the strainer, but we'll keep the thick ones that couldn't fit through. You know what I mean? That was good, right? That was good.
Yeah, I like that. I see what you did there. Thank you.
Thank you.
No, this is the perfect time to talk about it because look, there's spring practice. You're getting some limited reports. You know, you get very, very few like real takes out of it, right? Especially with Florida, like instilling a whole new coaching staff and offense, they're not going to really want to show a whole lot there. They're going to get that 2 minutes of practice at the very beginning, and that's it. It's going to be very, very vanilla. So this is really the only thing that we can do between now and in August or September, depending on when your respective kickoff is, in order to keep us, in the flow of things. Yeah, exactly. But let's be honest. By the summer, we're going to have baseball and spending time with our crappy families. So, we don't have a whole lot to look forward to here over the course of the next 6 months.
We're trying to keep it fresh, guys, okay? WFL says, I love talking Gators with y'all. Great show. We love it too, man. We love when you guys come by and talk shit and show some love. So we love it. Gator sports is the best sports. I think Steven would agree.
Love it.
We're gonna dive into some NFL talk now. It's been hot with the NFL. It's been exciting, but we're gonna get into it. So I am a huge Jimmy G guy. I've stood by that. I believed in that. I think I'm losing that battle.
I wouldn't say you're losing the battle.
You don't think so?
I would say that Jimmy Garoppolo is losing that battle.
You think so? Is that what it is?
Maybe. I'm trying to give you the benefit of the doubt here, but yeah, look, it just feels like every time Jimmy Garoppolo has a shot to maybe keep his job, redeem himself, stay with the 49ers, it's just one thing after the other. And now it looks like he's just gone through surgery on his throwing shoulder. Not that
a surprise surgery.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, he was really. If you could turn around and hand the ball off with your non-throwing shoulder, I think he'll be great. If he actually has to use that throwing arm, maybe not. But that was always the case with him.
I've seen this movie too many times before. It just looks like he's being pushed out. I think that the time of Jimmy G is over, honestly. Unfortunately, I really do. Just how it's playing out. So what's the situation right now? They're sold in on Trey being the starter. It's not a matter of if he is, he is the guy. They're all bought in on Trey Lance. So Jimmy is gone. Jimmy has to go. Right? That's not a question. That's a great point, Muddy. One sec. He has to go. The issue they're having now is getting rid of him because he didn't do much production last year where he's a great selling point. One, right? Two, he now has a surprise surgery. So all these things are going the wrong direction. And I'm sure they don't want to just give him up for nothing because they still owe him money, right? They wanted to get draft picks. They want to get some value out of it. But it's a weird situation because his selling point isn't that high. His stock value isn't that high. So,
right. And
now they've got the Baker situation, and you can almost kind of put them in the same category. It's like, well, Baker's healthy, doesn't have any issues. He's not horrible, but he's not great. Again, right now their performance has been the same. I think Jimmy's better, but he hasn't shown that, right? So Baker's the healthy, younger version. And Baker's kind of just waiting it out. I think the Cleveland Browns are waiting it out. And so that's also hurting their situation. And the Niners are being nice. They're like, we're not going to cut him. We're going to just hang on to him, which also is another point. What if Trey doesn't work out? He's young. What if something happens? You'd at least have a great, solid backup.
Yeah, look, and I think to your point, the worst thing that happened to Jimmy Garoppolo was Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, he had a high value proposition, and now he's got this surgery. So if you're a team, even somebody like to Muddy's point, which we'll certainly point to here in a second, but even if you look at a team like Miami, I mean, you're now getting damaged goods, right? San Francisco is not going to get the value for him that they would have prior to the surgery, and some of the obviously Aaron staying in Green Bay, Seattle trading Russell Wilson, right? A lot of these things are putting him in a position where he's kind of backed into a corner, right? His value is just steadily dropping,
For sure.
almost like what was it, GameStop? He is the GameStop of
So
the
hey,
NFL
look,
right now.
this dude. That's perfect segue because I was just about to say that players are like stocks, right? And when it looks shiny and it sounds cool and everybody wants it, everybody's going to pay whatever it is to get to it because the hype is there. So the value is going to go up, and you got to sell when the value is high. They didn't sell when the value is high. Now there's right sell on the, or buy on the news, sell on the I don't know. I can't remember the slogan right now. But now it's all bad news. Oh, buy the bad news, sell the good news, right? So now it's all bad news, but they can't buy into it. So now the stock value is shit and nobody wants it anymore. And it's all because it's just talk and hearsay. And that's how stocks work. Is it good? Yeah, it's really, really good. And then everyone's like, it's too good. It's too good to be true. We all got to back out. And then it all comes crashing down on everybody. That's what's happening to Jimmy G right now. It's like, and me talking about it, I'm losing faith and value in him. I don't think he's a great fit in Miami. That would be a horrible trade. I'm more bought in on Tua and Teddy Bridgewater than I am Jimmy at this point. And I 5 minutes ago I was all in, but I'm talking about it thinking like, no, why go give away draft picks for somebody who may or may put you over the top when you've got two other guys that may or may put you over the top. It's just the guy's screwed. He lost. Yeah, it. He's done.
Zach mentioned Atlanta. That could be something with Matty.
I would be okay with that, but they just signed Marcus Mariota, which is an absolute I don't know what the hell is going on.
I'm not a fan.
But I think if they can get the value at the right price, I think that would be a good trading position for him because I don't think Mariota is the guy even close to the guy.
No, look, we don't really know how significant the surgery was. We don't know if it's going to take him out of being ready for the start of the season. But obviously, if you're like we just talked about with the tight ends at Florida, if you're transitioning into a new team, into a new offense, repetition is going to matter because you need to know how to run the offense. So look, he could very well be somebody who they get, whatever team that gets him on the very cheap. They're able to shelf him for a year, maybe go with a Mariota and quarterback for that year one, and then now you've got your long-term solution sitting on the bench getting healthy. So look, there certainly could be a scenario where things don't go completely off the rails for Jimmy G. But I mean, we're getting to a point here where something's got to get done, or he's just gonna. It feels like just be stuck in kind of like a purgatory. And if he gets, again, like to your point with stock, once a stock is forgotten, it is hard to get it back in people's minds again. And it's kind of the same thing with Jimmy G. If he becomes forgotten and he's out, it'll be difficult for him to have relevance again down the road because there's always new quarterbacks coming in. There's always that one quarterback that had a hot year, so on and so forth. So if he doesn't get himself into a good situation here quickly, he could find himself on the outside looking in, unfortunately for him.
Yeah, and I totally agree. I think that's where he's at. So it sucks. I love Jimmy, but I think the Jimmy G train has come to a halting stop. Real quick, WFL says High Top needs to do a yearly meet and greet in Jacksonville on a Saturday during football season. I totally agree.
We will absolutely do that. We did a little something like that just the other day on
yesterday.
Tuesday. Yeah,
it was yesterday.
So, it was yesterday. It was like I said.
It's been a long 24 hours.
2 days. 48
yeah,
hours.
we were at the baseball game, and we put a little message out. It was a little too late. That's on us. But we were there, and that was a great opportunity. But look. Come football season, we'll go definitely Florida, Georgia. We'll have to figure something out if we can. Daniel says, "I want to be on the show, I want to be on y'all's call-in show. Do one. Maybe we should do it.
We could do a call-in show, but look, we said that it's free to play the NCAA brackets. You fill one out, you win it. You're on with us anyway. You were on with us anyway, Daniel.
Zach says he wants us to do a live show for Florida versus FSU. I am in.
This is not healthy for anybody.
Based on the video footage of Steve last night, it's probably best for us and the subscribers for us not to do that.
I think between you, Bork, and myself during last year's Florida State game, we weren't even
text
together.
Messages.
We were just texting, and it got a little rowdy. So I don't know.
You get rowdy, Steve. You get rowdy.
Well, you were
Nope.
winning, so it was easier for you to not be pissed off.
That's fair. That's fair. It's easy when you're winning. I agree. I love all these ideas. We'll definitely try to figure. I would love to have more. I want to have more people on. So we're trying to figure that out, how to make it work to where it makes sense. But look, maybe we should do a call-in show. So I love that. Let's move on to the next topic. So Carson Wentz, we talked about him a little bit going to Washington. But something came out today where the owner of the Colts was kind of roasting him a little bit, basically saying that we made a bad decision. We should have moved on sooner. It's one of those things where you kind of just live and forget, kind of whatever motions. But it was weird for an owner to come out and kind of roast somebody like that. That was the first I've seen something like that. He was getting talks from veterans saying that he lacked leadership, i.e. Carson, in the locker room, which that's, as a quarterback, leadership is everything. So for him not to have that was, and he goes, the Jacksonville game was the icing on the cake. Like just how he carried himself in the locker room. There was no oomph behind it. There was nothing there. And we came out with a video because I was all in on Carson. I was like, look, I think he's going to turn Washington around and give them the ability to win. But this news coming out, I don't know anymore. Right? Because those factors are huge. And I think he hasn't been able to fit in at certain places. And I've been trying to figure out why, because on the outside, I think he has the talent, right? It looks like he should. He should be doing a good job, but he's not getting it done. And part of it could be just the lack of leadership.
Yeah, and look, for a quarterback, there you can have a lot of different things said about you. You could say that maybe he lacks some arm strength, which we've seen some successful quarterbacks. I want to say even some older quarterbacks start to lose a little bit of zip on the ball. You could say that they have bad footwork. You could say that they maybe just process the field a little slow and they don't audible out of certain situations. All of those things you can manage around in a game scenario. Having a quarterback, the head of your team, the person that is supposed to be your rallying cry, that can't get a locker room together or doesn't motivate the players to want to play for him, that's almost career ending for you right there, because that is the position that is the end all be all. So why it's the highest paid position in the NFL, but that's more of an intangible that you can't really fix. You can get better footwork. You can maybe work on some speed and some 40 yard dash drills. We can work on maybe some different techniques with how you have your footwork to get your arm strength a little bit better. Not being able to lead is not going to bode well for any quarterback in the NFL. It just isn't.
That's something that's learned. It's not taught, for sure.
Right.
So look, I'm still positive. I'm still optimistic on Carson's success in Washington. I hope he does well. I want to see him do well. But I don't know. That was kind of a little heartbreaking to me when I heard that. Now, you said the coach had some good things to say about him. So there's two different sides here, two different stories. But it was, again, the whole point of it was the fact that he came out and was pretty vocal to roast Carson was strange to me.
Sure. Well, look, I mean, the ownership is the one who went out and spent the money, right? They're the ones that went out and got him, brought him in.
They spent the investment.
Right. Now, Frank Reich, the coach of the Colts, did come out and say, hey, look, I think he's still got a shot at having a great career in Washington, but it's not really in a coach's best interest to bash an outgoing player because, look, it's a very transactional league. A lot of these players that are on the Colts now may not be there in 1 or 2 years. And if you feel like your coach is just going to roast you just because you didn't work out with that team, that's not how you're going to win a locker room either. Like now the ownership's a different scenario, right? They're the ones writing the check. But Frank's a coach. Frank Reich is a good coach. And I think he knows after his own playing career how a coach needs to make sure that his players are on the same page and that they all believe in one another. So completely different mindsets, but I can understand both sides of it here. For
sure. Real quick, what did Muddy said, and this is a good point. He says Jacksonville ruined the wide receiver market. I couldn't agree more. The Christian Kirk signing really just kind of set things off on a stringer. He cashed in. He made the move because he got it done early, right? Sometimes being first is better. Now, for like a Devontae or Tyreek, who were later, they had the ability to hold, right, and then cash in because of their talents. But somebody like him is like, look, I got to get in this now while I can. And then it set the tone for the rest of it. I think it not only for wide receivers, I think it just changed the market in general because seeing that guy, and again, wide receivers don't have much value, to see how much he got paid, redonkulous.
Yeah, I can't remember who was it, Dustin Hopkins, I think, that went from the Texans to Arizona, and his next contract was just unbelievable, and it popped the roof off the top of the wide receiver salaries for that cycle, and it just felt like that one guy laid out a golden road for every other wide receiver that was coming up into a contract negotiation.
For sure. Brian Carter says, great show, guys. Gonna go Gators. Love the all-around convos as always. Brian, thanks, brother. Appreciate you stopping by as always and giving us your insights. Maverick Harden, hey, guys. That was a nice 3-run home run, and the Gators win last night. Yes. Yes, sir. It so was. Steve's going to leave. And then softball's beating the UCF right now 10-3. Daniel Rivera, muddy facts. Daniel just stay roasting these guys. I love it. I love the heat that goes in here. Last thing here. We got 2 last things. The Lions are getting the hard knocks. I love it. I kind of like it. I think they're due. They're due. Now, I think they're also a really good team. I think last year I said this multiple times that they are a good shitty team.
Yeah, they were so close a couple of times. And it's just they just Detroited all over themselves because they just couldn't get over the top.
Exactly. But look at this headline. Absolutely perfect. I'm excited. Jared Goff, he's used to this. I want to say with the Rams, he did it with the Rams. With Sean McVay's, I think, second year. So this is Jared's bread and butter. I think for HBO, I think it's a bold move because who's going to tune in to watch the Lions? I'm going to be honest. The Cowboys, that was peak. America's greatest team. Dak's comeback year. You got Zeke. Who doesn't want to watch Zeke? You got Micah Parsons coming in his rookie year. I mean, that to me was one of the all-time peaks of Hard Knocks for a while. The Rams, it's LA. We want to see the new coach. We want to see the new stadium. Right? Yes, I mean, you got Aaron Donald. They got heavy hitters. And now we followed up with the Raiders with AB. I mean, I'm going back, right? I mean, just banger after banger after banger. And then we go to Detroit.
And then, so look, there could be a lot of anticipation and a lot of excitement. It may not be what happens on the football field or what happens in the players' locker room, but I am willing to bet that the Hard Knocks staff that's coming in, the cameramen, the boom mics, those guys getting to the stadium and not getting shot, I think is going to be
it's going to be the show.
It's going to be the show, right? Exactly. Like, can they make it from the hotel to the stadium scuff-free and be able to film this thing? So, I think that's really where we're going to see the lights shine brightest.
If I'm HBO, right, where's the investment here? What's the thought? Like, let's be the guys in the room here. Let's talk about it. We're all going to vote on it. Let's say the options are Detroit. I don't know how you don't go to the Jaguars or Miami or Tampa. I mean, you got so many great options, guys, but or the Bengals. The hottest team in America right now. Yes. Why would you go to Cincinnati? Like, what are we doing? Like, who the hell is running this thing? My thing is, we vote on Detroit. Where's the bigger play, right? Where's the 5-year plan? And I'm going to try to sell the idea here because they had a great year last year. St. Brown had a great rookie. Not a great year. They had a great sighting to being great. It looked like they had the ability to be good, right? St. Brown, the wide receiver, rookie year, had some flashes. Jared Goff's looking good. The new head coach is passionate. He cares about the team. Do we really think the Lions are going to be good in the next 2 years?
Oof, I don't know. I mean, look, they've got the pieces, but that's always been kind of where the Lions were. They've always kind of had the pieces, right? They've always had, they had
Stafford. The Calvins.
Yeah, Stafford was there. Calvins. They've had good players, but they've just never been able to put it all together at the same time. And thank you, Zach. I appreciate that. But yeah, they've just never been able to put it all together at the same time. But to your point, there are just a lot more attractive teams out there right now. Cincinnati would have been a banger. I'd have been all about that. I know that they were just. I think they were just.
Green Bay would be fun.
Green Bay
to see the drama. I mean, who else? The Raiders again with Devontae now. I mean, not really. I'm kind of reaching here. Justin Herbert,
go to Denver with
Russell in the new wave. You've got Justin Herbert. I'm not completely sold on that. The Colts, no, they're not really exciting, but I mean they're good. I mean I could see that. I think we named plenty of teams where like, hey, let's go see what's happening here.
Yeah, Detroit would have never been.
It's crazy to me.
I don't know who was pushing for it. Whatever, but you know what? Everybody
not
needs
the Falcons,
their shining moment.
Yeah, look. I'm excited. I've always you can't not cheer for the Lions, right? Like to me, is it HBO throwing them a bone? Like, hey, we gotta just get some coverage. Is that what it is? Do they have is HBO doing that well? Or they have fuck you money where they can take a year off? Is that what is that what we're looking at here?
Yeah, I don't think anybody's signing up for HBO just to watch Hard Knocks. So
Zach said he loves you. Why? So for the Madden cover, right? The Madden, what they would go and do, they would have, and it kind of flopped a little bit, but they had a year where fans voted who they wanted to be on the cover, and I'm pretty sure that was the year the guy from Cleveland, the halfback, Peyton Hillis won it, which wasn't obviously the best. Didn't work out, but I feel like this would be a great thing. I mean, to vote on. Now the problem with that is you just get a bunch of people kind of like in a heavy metropolitan area like Atlanta or like a Detroit where they just go
it becomes a popularity contest. That's kind of what it's supposed to be anyway.
Yeah, but like
it's designed to be.
You don't get like I don't think a masses vote is the concern, but I think you can at least get some feelers out there. I don't think Detroit would have popped up on anybody's blimp.
No, not
Cleveland would have been fun if Baker stays with Deshaun. You've got a sexual assault. You got the commercial king of all time. You got Jarvis Landry who wants to get paid $20 million. They got Nick Chubb. It's great to have a Chubb behind you. You've got Kareem Hunt, pass woman beater. I mean, you've got a slew of options out there.
Yeah, in Detroit, certainly not. Look, I don't know. Maybe they've got something up their sleeve. Maybe there's
the Ravens.
In Detroit. Yeah, the Ravens would have been good. I would have liked that.
I think we're in conclusion,
the New York
guys.
Teams are probably a little overplayed. I think the New York teams would have been boring. But
that'd have been awful.
Too much young talent out there for this to be the pick. It just feels weird.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. Muddy says, who will get the first NCAA football cover next year? Wow.
That's a great one because look, I've told Shelton this millions of times. I'm not a video gamer, but there is one game that I have been in love with, and I have had every version of it. And the last one had a Michigan player. I want to say it was Shoestring, but man, that NCAA college football is my go-to. It is my favorite game of all time. I cannot wait for that new game to come out. I might take a couple weeks off and just
who gets the cover. Let's do this. Let's base it off of last year because we know that the whatever happens this coming year is going to make the influence. But let's say if we were to pick for this coming year, right? Because that's going to be most relatable. Who would we put on there?
Oof.
Stetson Bennett. I'm just kidding. Is it Bryce Young? Is it Bryce?
It would have to be, I think, anyway.
That was a boring one.
I would almost put the new kid going to Tennessee on there. I know you said you wanted to be from somebody who played last year, but it just feels like it would.
I don't think he's going to make an impact to where it would matter. 2024, Arch Manning, never a doubt. I'm gonna double call it.
What do you do? You're going against your own rules. You just said from somebody who has to play.
I know, but that's when you make the rules, you can also break the rules. But yeah, it's got to be Bryce. I can't think. What's the kid's name? Caleb Williams. USC has the potential to be on there this coming year. It's Caleb Williams, right? Did I say that right? No. Did I say it right?
No.
Am I saying the wrong right, kid? Yeah, I was right. Whew. Yeah, Caleb Williams has a great opportunity to be on the cover. Quinn Ewers. I got a video coming out about him. Quinn Ewers could be the guy.
Yeah, there's not a lot out there. I mean, like I guess Matt Corral will be in the NFL. But he didn't have a bad year. I like him.
W says money.
Stetson's just unexciting.
You can't put Stetson. Look, you can't put Stetson. He's not the brand guy. Just because he's won and he has, and now you could because he has a great story, but over Bryce Young, the Heisman winner, there's no way.
I'd say Bryce Young's got to have it. he would have to take that. In my opinion. I mean,
look, I think AR could make a run for it next year. Like if we're talking next year, my top 3 picks, top 4, Caleb Williams, Bryce Young, AR, and Quinn Ewers. Now there might be some running backs that come in there and throw me off. Running backs are sneaky ones. They kind of they come out of nowhere. But those are my 4. Quarterbacks are always fun, right? We love quarterbacks. So those are my 4 picks. Give me picks, Stevie. Come on. Let's go. Give me some picks and let's get out of here.
Yeah, let's do this thing. Look, I would love to get a defensive player on there.
Okay, your scout, Jack Fiber. Let's go, baby. Who's the kid in Washington? Who's the guy in Chase Young? Chase Young would have been an incredible cover.
Kayvon Thibodeau out of Oregon. I would have liked to have seen him. He had a good year. The kid out of Michigan, Aiden something. He had a good year. Defensive end. Like I say, they don't get the love, right? It's all
but it's like
trying to get an offensive lineman on there.
Or like a Ray Lewis, like a middle linebacker. Those guys are flashy. They're fun to watch. It would be fun to see a good middle linebacker. Again, like a Chase Young. Those guys are so fun to watch. A wide receiver could possibly be on there. Like a Jalen Waddle probably would have been on there.
I can see that.
So it's gonna be fun.
It's happening though, people. It's happening. I'm telling you. I'm taking a Friday, Monday off, and I'm gonna play this video game for 4 straight days.
We'll play together.
Be busted.
We'll come live. We'll come on here. Kirby Smart. That's not a bad pick, Daniel. That's not a bad pick. Steve will be on it wearing a Florida jersey. Get him, Zach. Get him. Hutchinson from Michigan. Good picks. Brian, Zach, Daniel, Muddy, WFail. Let me get some more names in here. Who did I miss? Maverick. The whole crew is here. The boys were out tonight. Am I missing anybody? Hopefully not. Daniel, I already said Daniel. All right, I think I got everybody. Hey, guys. Oh, Gator Gang 2022. You guys, thanks for stopping by as always. Make sure you like and subscribe. We are so close to 900, and then it's a countdown to 1,000 at that point. We go live, as you guys know, every Wednesday at 8:35. Turn the bell on. Get it going. Go Gators. Be back here next week. Until next time, I'm Sheldon.
I'm Holly.
Buggity, 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 baby.